to the computer. All right. Peace and blessings, everybody. This is Misal Bay, aka Warlock Asylum, here with the God 720. And today we're going to be talking about Santa Muerte. Something on my end is where I kind of get interviewed on that sort of thing. So I'm going to let the God 720 begin, and we'll continue.
Okay, well, I definitely appreciate you, bro. You reached out and the connection has stayed very strong. And I love the fact, you being in New York and taking on the medieval. And as I know, you found you, you found what was for you, what was designated for you in the saint realm, even though it's a folk saint. She's still recognized because of the mass, the power that has been adapted to her throughout many cultures worldwide. Okay, so it has to be taken on, and then there's also the blood that has been added, and a lot of original rites for actual saints have been adapted to her, specifically the culture in which she comes from, which is a Catholic-based culture, right? So, how did you feel when we were going through the medieval and you were interviewing me on a lot of stuff that was found in the medieval, and then on our private discussions, I had to show you some deep mathematics with the saint realm, and then we sort of broke off, went our little separate ways for a little while. And lo and behold, before I knew it, he got a whole book on Santa Muerte. So how did that feel as, swimming through the saints and then finding your own that was, home for you?
Well, that was it was like a back and forth thing with like the orthodoxy with Christianity and stuff. Because I had also been initiated in Espiritismo years ago, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of that had a lot of Catholic energy to it. And after studying Suma, like working in shamanism and stuff, you could see that the technology in the orthodoxy is really, you know, common sense. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have a trinity. People could debate God is one, all that kind of stuff. It's nothing to do with that. It's like you have the world manifest, which is the sun. You have the realm of the Holy Ghost, which is the astral plane. And then you have the divine realm. And then that sits in the womb of the life's totality. And that has a mind of its own. So what I began to understand, because I was always big with Suma, because that was the first and that was my initial initiation. So um, although not a lot of people have that path, that was in some ways to an advantage because it led to this whole vortex of energy that was really transformational. But what I began to learn was that, in the same way human beings reincarnate, so do gods. They reincarnate. And a lot of the reasons why the saints, Christianity, you hear more about the sword with conversion with Judaism and Islam, but you don't really hear too much about it in that sense, although it may have happened at some times when people are conquering, this is their native religion. Hey, you got to change it up a bit. But as far as making a conquest to convert in war, no, it's never been recorded in that, different than the two other Abrahamic faiths. But what I did observe is that, like, I also, as a writer, have done different projects. So over the past 3 or 4 years, I've been involved in the Roma community or the Romani community, which some people call is known by the derogatory term gypsies. And if you think brothers have it hard, whoo, man, they have it hard because they can't even be known to exist in certain towns. They have their own um, Black Lives Matters movement. They identify with the term Black a lot of times, and they're ability is very clannish, but what I mean to say is they used to worship Ishtar. They used to go to the river and have statues of her and bathe them. And then when they saw Saba the Black, Saba Kali the Black, the saint of the Roma people now, they bore witness. But was that Ishtar reincarnating into a new form? Because it's a new age. You know, Jesus found it at the time of the sign of Pisces.
Hmm.
So my studies along the tree took me to the point where the tree is supposed to get you out of the planetary realm, and then you have to walk the zodiac realm. And there's numbers to prove that means 144,000, which I can go into in another discussion or now or whenever if you want me to. But I had received a lot in that working. So by the time that you had came around, I might not have been open to it years ago. But looking at it, it was like, wow, there's a lot of stuff here. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's a lot of technology here and it's a fullness, you know. So then I had gotten to a place where, you know, not to let people tell people what something is that they're not a part of. Listen to the people who are part of it speak. You know what I'm saying? And because there may be some things that, you know, they see that you don't see about their path. You know what I'm saying? And in doing that, it brought me to a certain, you know, dynamic. But spiritually, of being exposed to like, wow, this technology is here also. And this is a perfect continuum of, you know, the Sumerian pantheon. And that's what I believe that he was teaching. You know, his mother was a virgin born of an angel, Gabriel, who happens to be the angel on the next level up is Will Malkuth. The next level up is Yesod, and he's the archangel of that. You know what I'm saying? So he's walking the tree of life. And then, you know, he's asking the scribes questions at the age of 12. People forget that Nebo is the Babylonian god. He's the god of scribes, and his sacred number is 12. You see what I'm saying? So I'm looking at this a totally different way than most people are, but I'm seeing the technology. You see what I'm saying? So when it came to that, I said, okay, this is the real, you know, Moorish right in some ways, because this is a home deity. People think you can just call deities out the blue. No. Remember the book of Daniel, chapter 21. It says that Daniel prayed and the angel took 21 days. And when the angel came to him, he said, I was blocked by the Prince of Persia. Why was he blocked by the Prince of Persia? Because he was in that vicinity. That thing, the Prince of Persia was doing it was supposed to do. It could block an angel. You see what I'm saying? So it's like if we're dealing with deities that are way across the sea, how much power does the mayor of France have here? He's going to be treated like a dignitary because of his political, you know, affinity with the government of France, but he has no real jurisdiction over here. So the idea of taking a Marian energy, a Black Madonna energy, actually, and
Yeah.
merging it with the cult in Mexico, the Mixtecal cult in Mexico, together. And this was a deity on this Marian side that was used to perpetrate the Underground Railroad when Brazilian slaves was trying to get to the land of freedom called Mexico. That's how this thing was founded. So now this is a deity in its own homeland. Most times you go and report, you go online like what is that? You go online with like Wikipedia and stuff. They tell you the size of devotees is like anywhere from 12 to 13 million people. That's the population of the Jewish nation in the entire world. There's only 14 million Jews in the world. This is almost equal to that population because people see the power. You know, there's a lot of different experiences. Like some woman coming across the border, she got 50 cents in her pocket. She buys Santa Muerte stamp. 5 years later, she got 5 houses. You know what I'm saying? Because the right becomes complete. The Trinity is not complete without the chthonic force. This is the whole idea of the Gizeh necropolis. You have three pyramids and the Sphinx. The Sphinx is the underworld. In other cults, it's like you have Enki, Enlil, and Anu, the three Babylonian triads, or Vishnu, Brahma, and Krishna. Like you have it different ways and different across the world, but there's a chthonic root that is not often given to the other people. So I had read about when we was having our discussions, popes who had human skulls in their bed chambers and stuff. Like there was always that element, you know, the Franciscan orders in the Catholic Church used to visit the catacombs. to do prayers out of the catacombs and stuff like that. So they observe the technology. So people think, where they get it confused, it's like they think that, the church is supposed to be something similar to Judaism or, um, Islam. No, Jesus was actually introducing something new. You know what I'm saying? He was something introducing something that was old, that was something new. And to me, it was Babylonian because a lot of things in it reflected that time period. Jews are correct in saying that, but it was definitely something new and a reemergence of the Sumerian tradition, you know, um, in today's world. So when dealing with um, Santa Muerte, I wanted to make sure that it was active in its own native spiritual land. So the book was very heavily Catholic, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And because that's how I work with it, because there's a technology in that. That's where it's from. A lot of time people build spiritual cesspools because they take something out of its element and work with it and not realize that the balance is having the understanding of its whole totality. But when you break it down scientifically, it's not even dogma. It's nothing to debate about. You know what I'm saying? So um it's very interesting. And just on that note, I just heard in the news today that they may have found the first African indestructible saint. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, they've already got one
They got one.
incorruptible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
incorruptible. Yeah.
Benedict the Moor.
Yeah.
Benedict the
Yeah.
Moor in Palermo, Italy.
Yeah.
Saint Benedict the Moor. And then they just discovered one that's an incorruptible black female
Hmm.
that will be inducted into the saint realm to be
Yes.
beatified and canonized here in
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that happened, I think, this last year or the year
Hmm.
before.
Hmm.
That just
Hmm.
happened recently.
Yeah.
So let me ask you,
Hmm.
when it comes to Santa Muerte, did you find a layer of any specific Mayan goddess that's incorporated or what's the word we're looking for? Reincarnated
Hmm.
into the Santa Muerte?
Um, well, the what I would say I discovered is that Mictlantecuhtli was considered in the Aztec pantheon the underworld, like the
Mm-hmm.
goddess of the underworld. And around her realm was certain fertility deities. They had the iconography of those fertility deities that people worship, and they look identical to the red Santa Muerte statues that you see available today, with like
Mm-hmm.
the Aztecian headdress and everything.
Okay, right, right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. In the Mayan world, I would have to say comes towards the deity that is depicted as a bat god, from which some of the Batman lore in comic book world descended from, because that was
Mhm.
also a god of initiation, and you had to go into this cave and walk a certain distance. And ironically, the person to unveil this rite of this Mayan god was also a Christian mystic named Samuel War. He identified this whole rite of this situation with this Mayan god. But in the Aztec pantheon with Santa Muerte, it was more like a mergence of those two cultures.
Okay.
And I look at it because of death could mean different things, but for from what I gather from it, it's not like the state of non-existence per se, but a realm where, similar to the subconscious mind, all ideas exist. So out of that comes life, and that's why they say out of darkness comes the light.
Right.
Like in the beginning, because this was the state. So to see something like that return um, to the fore in this time, it's definitely a time of change and stuff like that. But it's very beautiful. It's very beautiful energy. My life is, greatly improved. I've seen a lot of different miraculous things in my own life and in the life of others. So it's really been a tremendous experience, something that's life changing. And so, when you're young, you're trying to, get into road rage and all of that. But as you get older, you start realizing that your course in life is about learning lessons. So the lessons that I've learned through that has also helped me summarize my journey as well. So now it gives me like a straight confidence to know which way and direction to go. It's not easy because, in the media, somebody's house is considered corruptible. They got to move out. They got clothes all over the floor, all over the place. And they got one like Santa Muerte statue. And then the whole news article becomes about that. So coming
Hmm.
forward with something like that is not easy, but that's where the true meaning of faith comes in. Like people look at faith and they say, oh man, that just means like a belief or something. Nah, it's a whole different relationship. You have a relationship with something that's not completely tangible. And it's telling you, like, yo, I got your back. I want you to leave a nice neighborhood and go to the worst section of Chicago and tell this good news on the block. You're like, what are you talking about? And this is what you see in cases like of Jonah or different cases. So, and being confident with this, as going through being revealed certain knowledge that is not really public, that could definitely, change people's perception of even, the orthodoxy or the Catholicism in general, or just, certain things of how we perceive scripture is somewhat of a thing to have really an expression of faith because that's not an easy thing to do. People normally used to go into their work and, calling out their religious affiliation. Everyone like, oh, that's good. The kids have, children have a good time. It's like, but when you can't do that, how do you resolve that within yourself? You know what I'm saying? And that's through faith, which of knowing a certain relationship. And that's what it becomes a relationship. But it's like, yo, I got your back. You know what I'm saying? So you have certain insight that comes from things intuitively. And in the cultures, it's like speaking in spirit. You know what I'm saying? There's no need for debate in that point because it's speaking to a certain level of consciousness that, it's like you'll be an idiot to go against it. You see what I'm saying? So in exploring that stuff, it gave me more insight into a practice I had enveloped for like a little while. I was already into the sort of like pantheon and understanding the underworld. So for me, it was a matter of translating aesthetics, but then in some of the research, I was seeing like a lot of things written like Mary and Ishtar. Mary is, Ishtar is called the Queen of Heaven. You know what I'm saying? Most of the deities were called the son of Ishtar as well as kings.
Hmm.
But when I was doing research on the rosary, they were talking about the reason the rosary was developed or how it developed was it came out of the cult of the rose, which is the cult of the five, which is the Venusian cult that emulates Ishtar. And I'm finding this research in books that are like old, like before the 1900s, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, wow, this is what,
Phenomenal information when you go past the 1900s.
yeah,
You in that
absolutely.
1800, 1700 realm. Boy,
Absolutely.
that shit is hard to get out of. But
Yeah.
keep going, keep
Yeah,
going.
absolutely. And, I'm sitting there soaking all this up. And I'm like, with the book, it's helping me understand things. It helped me understand an alchemy that is ridiculous, B. Santa Muerte is based on the system of the three robes. Those are the 3-point colors, with the exception of the gold in alchemy. You see it in the transfiguration. Transfiguration, you have Moses, the lawgiver, you had Jesus, and then you had Elijah. With the Santa Muerte tradition, you have the grandmother figure in the white, which is what everyone says is the first one person to work with. You have the red, which is represents, like the dedication, the blood of Christ. And then you also have the black, which represents a supernatural power joining the forces of the world of the dead with this world.
Yeah, the
So
unknown.
unknown. So then you have Moses, the lawgiver, you have Jesus, and then you have Elijah, who did the first biblical resurrection. It's the same thing. But it's the feminine form. So you have the Mother Mary, who teaches you the culture of the tradition, teaches you the ground rules through meditation. Then you have Mary Magdalene, the one who was married to Jesus. So most of the devotees who are devotees and say they're marrying to Santa Marta are those who work with the red color, coincidentally. And then you have the widow. All biblical resurrections, there's a widow present. You see what I'm saying? And so that's the black color. So so when you look at it from that direction, it's not really a discussion whether it's evil. This is just alchemy. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? That's part of this um spiritual quest, but it's beautiful because the energy is very loving, very affirming, very eye-opening. There are some people that distort the alchemy, like, oh man, I would just want to get this. And if they don't learn the lesson in it, then they don't get it. And then something happened and people look like, why this happened? They doing this, because it's serious. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's serious. You really don't want to piss off a deaf deity. You know what I'm saying? Like that might not be a good thing. So um I didn't want people, what I wanted to do in writing the book is to kind of curb this perception that people have, especially in the mainland of Americas, of what this is, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And kind of bring it to really appreciate the alchemy of it. And when I finish the book, when I do books, I got to do it. You know what I'm saying? I got to do the rights that are in the books and stuff before I give it out because that's karmically not good. So, but when I finished everything, it was like crying. I shed a tear behind it because of the beauty of the system. You know what I'm saying? It was
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
transformational. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's part of the energy you felt from the Saints overall. That
yeah,
that
yeah,
energy is so pure and
yeah,
powerful. You
yeah,
have to bend the knee
yeah, yeah,
to the alchemical principles that they put together,
yeah,
drafting directly out of ancient Egypt, hence
yeah,
the gypsies, as well as I
yeah.
do have Sarah
Mm,
the Black Madonna
mm,
in the third volume.
mhm,
So
yeah,
I definitely understood that element as well. So keep going though.
yeah. So at that point, I just ate it up. You know what I mean? Because I understood it. I already had. I went through what I consider a baptism, which is like a walk upon the tree with the energy, to kind of bring it to a certain level. And I'm planning on doing that continually, um, along with some other things to be introduced. So it was definitely a very transformational time in my life. But I've been learning so much in the path I've been learning, and not only about the tradition itself, but about um, my own life, life lessons or just how to perceive certain things or, you know, it's like to be a part of the kingdom of God. I think there's a prayer that says, let your kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven in the Lord's
Right.
Prayer. And what that means is that a person has to kind of get to that state of awareness before they leave this plane while on earth so that because the whole idea is to bring that to be part of that kingdom, in this space. So as you're moving through life and moving on, you're still in that kingdom. You see what I'm saying? Like you're still in that kingdom. And there's been like a lot of, different, paths and stuff like that. But there's a culmination in that I see is very important,
Hmm.
and I also see the lane for the folk saints. And so that's why I'm working on the blueprint for a Moorish Orthodox church. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Of Santa Muerte, because when I have dreams, the people that come to me have certain Catholic associations. Like sometimes, there's a big discussion on Google of people having Tupac dreams, right? But
Well,
Tupac's,
I made two. I beatified him
yeah,
and
yeah,
canonized him as a saint. I took
yeah,
the right and the responsibility of
exactly,
inculcating Tupac as a saint. His feast day is April 4th,
yeah,
which is the
exactly.
same feast day as Saint Benedict the Moor and
Mm-hmm,
Saint Isidore of Seville. Saint Isidore of Seville has the patron right of the internet, and I'm
mm-hmm,
that's one of my incarnations as a saint. I got a ton of saint incarnations, but
yeah,
he's one of them.
yeah, yeah, definitely. So it's like, you look at that, and that's the purpose of the Moorish like Orthodox church. 'Cause everyone has their church, which mix a little bit of the custom of the land with the crown to ensure the growth of its people. For example, you have the Greek Orthodox Church, right? You have the Ukrainian Orthodox Church, you know what I'm saying? You have the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. And there's a little bit of hint of things in that is different than the Coptic church, even though it's in the
Right,
same
right,
region of
right.
land, but it's still one church. It's just that they express little things. So in this hemisphere, that's what that's about. And this focus will be centered, of course, on the Black Madonna cult as well, but also primarily the view of Santa Muerte, and how traditions turn. Usually in the community with Santa
Hmm.
Muerte, it's a very highly personal relationship people get from what it gets from it.
Right. Is she
But
connected? Is Saint Morte connected to the Black Madonna of the Good Death?
yes, yeah,
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 so
yeah, yeah,
that'll definitely be our home if you
yeah,
were to do that.
yeah.
And we do need to start a route for the unorthodox
Hmm.
Catholic Moor,
Hmm.
which is me, you, a couple other guys
Hmm.
who have that understanding
Hmm.
here in America,
Yeah, yeah,
because they have the Moorish thing indebted into the Islamic side,
right.
and
It
there has
doesn't.
always been a Catholic side,
Right,
and
right,
we need to
exactly.
revitalize that. So I
Yeah,
definitely love
yeah,
that
yes.
idea.
So that would be, great, and it's something that could, it could be very prosperous because I look at the people in the movement. When you look at like King and X, and like these people should have been canonized, but
Right.
like, and that gives you room for ancestor worship culturally. You see what I'm saying? That's why I've always felt that was better, much better than Protestantism, because there's nothing there, in a certain way. It's a branch off of something that was an original form. So, like,
Right.
just so people know the lingo, you had one church, and then the Roman Catholic Church split off the Orthodoxy because they disagreed about the power of the Pope. They didn't
Hmm.
believe in the one central figure except Christ, but the Orthodoxy in the church, they sort of use the term Catholic, but Orthodoxy put that forth first so that people don't confuse it with the Roman Rite. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? But
Hmm.
then all those churches, like the Greek Orthodox, the Ethiopian Orthodox, they're all connected. You see what I'm saying? Through the uh, Orthodoxy, but it's still within the realms of this continuation, and it's never broken off. And then when you do look at medieval history, when Protestantism did break forth, that was the centuries of the Black Death, the Black
Hmm.
Plague,
Hmm.
because the energy in the land had shifted. So people don't, like, when they start pulling things out, like with these sub churches and stuff, those are just like forces, chaotic forces that's trying to gain some glory in that. People follow that, but it's disarm the people.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I look at it like, when I do see brothers who may have not had the knowledge we have, or the apparent of how we look at the Orthodoxy, the church, or Catholic, how terms people want to flip with it,
Hmm.
but when we do see them and they was just raised in it, regardless of how dark their skin is or regardless of how light their skin is, if they're like a black or brown person, there's something about them that's rich in culture, being a part of that establishment and those traditions that other people who's just going to hear someone uncouth speak behind a podium, it's just a different energy. You know what I'm saying? Their lives are not as like contangled. Then I notice like in Protestantism, there's always a tragedy in the black church because it's a Protestant church. We're not supposed to be there. There's always a
Hmm.
tragedy. If you go talk to anybody who's a Christian in Protestant church, there's a tragedy in their life. That's why I didn't mess with the whole thing for a long time. But then
Hmm.
when we were talking, I started looking into certain things. It was like, nah, this is another type of science. And then I began to understand Martin Luther. Martin Luther was a person who wanted to kill Jews. This is the great church reformer. He was a person, in order to get Protestant off the ground, he had to reject like 5 books of the Bible and change certain passages in the Bible to fit his frame. And this is what people think is holy. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
Protestant churches are still like, they don't be like saying the Lord's Prayer and, the part about evil and then amen. They go into thy power, thy glory forever. They go into King Henry stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like they recite. Now you can never recite that in the Catholic Church, B.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
But
Right.
but they don't see that because they're thinking that they have this relationship where they could do a January 6th every time they want to talk to God. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You know
Right.
what I mean? Like I'm just gonna
Right.
go walk up into space And you
Hmm.
actually believe that. What does that do? Like, what does that? That's like, what this dude said to the first couple. You'd be like, God, knowing good and bad. That's an edge to that. And so that's why certain things were put in place so that people could be part of something. And it was the first time because, like I said, gods are also incarnate. So they're learning as well. You know what I'm saying? How to take care of man. So this is the first time that they made an organization that extends from the top to throughout to the last kingdom. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like people don't when you speak to the Orthodox rabbis, there's an Orthodox rabbi. His name is Rabbi Friedland. He was like a hippie. He used to smoke a lot, and he used to get his life together. So he has a certain way of talking that's real practical. And he
Hmm.
was talking about Jewish belief and why they don't really get with Jesus too much. But there was a place for that. But I'm just saying that to reflect something that has happened in the Christian era where Jews believed that they were all souls at the right hand of God, and then God used them to go to the worst part of creation to raise it up to the best part, which is why you say the Lord's Prayer. Most rabbis agree that even though they don't agree with the Christ figure, they agree that the Lord's Prayer is a rabbi would construct the prayer like that. You see what I'm saying? So when you look at it, this is the first time there's an organization that extended from the heavenly down, where the ruler is a heavenly king and the people are in this situation extended all the way down to earth, which means earth became a pure place because they
Hmm.
couldn't really come to earth because it was too impure. You know what I'm saying? That's why they send man to do it because
Hmm.
it's too impure. So when you kind of learn that, you see a different continuum. So this thing is going to deal all the way with the Mesopotamian tablets. Include all that because it's all about one thing getting to where it need to get to. It's not like people think it's different. Like I could look at the Sumerian pantheon, you look at the Bible, you could see what it is. Enki, his number is 40. In the Sumerian epics, he was Noah's father. That's why he told him to build an ark to get away because Enlil wanted to destroy humanity, right? So it's a little bit more of a detailed account. Why are we excluding that? Because the tablets are newly found now. That should also be a part of the canonized because it's clear. Enlil was the god of the wind. So he's the one that's judging the couple. He's the one that gave the death decree. So he's walking
Hmm.
through the garden through the breezy part of the day. There's so many deities in the text from the previous Mesopotamian era that, like, if you really study the Sumerian epics, it becomes more understandable. Just like on this, as far as its technology. You know what I'm saying? The second thing that the church holds that's very important is it holds the communion. Now, in praying to Santa Muerte, because she bestows wisdom, I've learned the origin of the bread and the wine. It was two cults. It was Cain, who sacrificed grains from the earth, and it was Abel who sacrificed sheep. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
this dude, and that's the blood. So you have
Right.
the wine and the blood. So they every age you have to reinvent, you have to reinforce that treaty because these dudes was going at it. Cain killed his
Right.
brother. He still became the first biblical king. He built his city, like where the Garden of Eden was at. I'm looking at this like, wow, how many people see this when they read the book?
Right.
But when you understand that, it's like, okay, so Jesus did at the beginning of the age of Pisces. So now it's coming to a new age. Certain things have to be reestablished. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? And a lot of people in those vestiges of the church even may are not really aware of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or in religion in general.
Hmm.
So that's a lot of what Santa Marte taught me. So it's a very deep experience. You know, um, it's a very deep journey with it. It seems simple because it looks like just a relic that someone's working with, and that's it. But it's its own school of thought and possibly its own form of Catholicism. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's
Because
a folk saint,
yeah,
so that
it's
definitely
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah,
And then is all of this in your book?
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. It
Okay, well,
gets it gets.
tell the people the title of your book and where they can find it and all of that.
Wait, hold on 1 second. Let me just grab it for y'all. Hold on. All right, I'm back. So this is the Santa Muerte, the Gnostic Bible of the Holy Death. You can get it on Amazon. You can
It's
get it.
blurred out.
Yeah, it's. I got a filter on actually.
Put it
Let
right
me.
in front of your face.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
put it right in front of your face. Like,
Okay.
okay, it's still blurred out.
Yeah. But it's on Amazon. You can get the book. We're having a description of this discussion. It's on a lot of other different channels, A Books, Google Play. It's all over. So
Right.
it's been that was probably um, my most popular title, actually. Being a writer for so many years on topics similar, I wouldn't suspect that would be when if I was to look back like years ago, I wouldn't expect that to be the most popular title, but it kind of shows how the community is structured. For people who are used to like Western occult community, that community is not like that. It's a very loving community, very family like. It's like working people trying to find their way.
Hmm.
It's very practical. It's not all this bogus competition and all this kind of stuff. And
Yeah,
because,
Catholicism has a very clear, powerful energy when you're dealing with the saints.
yeah,
When
yeah,
you allow the saints to sit with you and you sit with them, the energy is pure and it
mhm,
is untapped,
mhm,
and the people are connected with that.
yeah,
Like my sons, they wear the rosary beads to school, and the
mhm,
teachers talk to them about it. Like,
mhm,
what? You wearing
mhm,
rosary beads during this time period?
mhm,
Like, yeah,
yeah.
for you, werewolf ass. Do the sign of the cross
Yeah,
up in this
yeah,
motherfucker. They got the
yeah,
devil running
yeah,
around this motherfucker.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, that type of thing.
Yeah, so it's been a lot of, educational stuff, and it's been a very good experience, very bright experience. My thoughts are bright, like it's just been overall good. So I think, that just been like a very transformational experience in my life. And there's a lot that I'm learning, continue to learn, and will continue to learn for the rest of my days, walking that path, what I'm saying? Because it's truly like a university. But for me, I feel that our people would have been more cultured under that because you got to know history. Some saints rule over certain places. You got to know different languages. It's like a universal place. There's a longitude, latitude from the churches in your town, the saints that rule your town, your street. You know what I'm saying? Like your birthday. Like, and just the history behind certain things. People lost their lives, behind this because they believed in it so much. A lot of African peoples were the first saints actually. You know what I'm saying? So
Right. We needed medieval Catholicism, and I'm glad that I was the person to bring it forefront. Um, I'm glad a lot of black people out of the conscious movement, including yourself,
mm,
actually felt very much at home
mm,
with medieval Catholicism or just the medieval times overall,
mm,
and the saints,
mm,
specifically, and also the Black Madonnas. But
mm,
you go to any black hood in America,
mm,
the store where you go buy the conscious material is called Black Madonna,
mm,
right?
mm,
So it was sitting in front of our face the entire time, and we didn't know what it was.
mm,
Um, yeah, I'm glad you felt the power. I'm glad you took an initiative where it called you, and it incorporated not only Santa Muerte but connected the black and brown people, if you want to
mm,
say that, the
mm,
Mexicans, because it is highly in the gangster realm.
mm,
Santa
mm, mm,
Muerte
mm,
is highly supported by all the cartels. Well, I
mm,
guess a couple of them,
mm,
and the cartels still utilize a lot of the Vodun, Voodoo, Palo
mm,
Monte, Palo Mayambe sciences, and
mm,
that's a little mixed in with it as well. So,
mm,
yeah, I'm glad you felt at home, man. I'm glad
yeah,
you, because I mean the sciences alone, the mathematics and the way the system is built.
mm,
If you love magic and you understand magic as a precision system,
mm,
then Catholicism is going to make you bend the knee.
mm,
Okay,
yeah,
because it is very precise
yeah,
and it's correct on
mm,
the way they developed the alchemical side of things over hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of years,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, even Western magic itself is like a cesspool of Catholicism. It's like broken parts of Catholicism that are randomly placed together and become something else. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
all that stuff traces back to that. So
Hmm. Hmm.
um in discovering that, and like you mentioned, is like definitely has an earlier incarnation in Egypt, you know what I'm saying? Because that's kind of the same, and even of course connection with Buddhism and India. You know,
Oh yeah, I wouldn't doubt
yeah,
that.
yeah, scholars have said that Catholicism as a religion resembles Buddhism because you have the saints, but you're like in Buddhism, you have the Bodhisattvas, you have the central figure that comes, with this sort of light presence. And in ritualistic culture, he's telling them to use their mind for certain things. So but in these rites, both in Buddhism and in Catholicism, just like you have the bread and the wine, you have a merge of the mystical and the magical. That was the pact, the treaty that continues. So this is the position of the morning star that Jesus, as he calls himself in Revelation 22:16, or the third class of angels that it's not really spoken about. And that is probably what will be revealed in the time that we're moving into. Like there's new things that's going to be revealed because that the text that was founded during the age of Pisces, that was his first sign, was two fishes. So now we're moving into the Aquarian age. The church will hold its same principle because the principles is the true structure of anything that's an institution. But it will also reorganize itself. So maybe something of what we're doing will become part of that reorganization for the age to come. You see what I mean? So that's one of the things I kind of think that is the direction that we're going. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's the technology is not of that technology is not going to be identified with a certain select group of people, but other people can recognize the technology and adapt it to their custom. You see what I'm saying? And be respected for it. So
Right,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
right, 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 right. So yeah, I guess that's about it, man.
yeah,
Tell the people where they can find your book again on your website or on Amazon, and
yeah. You can find it on Amazon. Just look up, Warlock Asylum. I have all my books on there. That's my pen name as well as trademark. So you can always just look up that. You can find any information in Google search, and we'll put it in the description and caption below. So,
all right, all
all
right.
right.
Well, there it is. Check them out. Go get Santa Muerte, folks. Saint.
Mm-hmm.
We need as many saints adapted to our personal pantheon here in America underneath the Moorish, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
right, and there it is. Keep it going. So y'all hit us up, hit him up, get the
Yeah.
book.
All
All right.
right. Peace and blessings. This is Misal Bay, aka Warlock Asylum. I'm with the God 720. And today we'll be reviewing his new album, Constantine the Black. This should be pretty live because we have him here. And he can answer some questions on, the album itself. I mean, my personal thing is that the work keeps better and better. This is like your pinnacle years. Like this is something where I heard this stuff. I was like, yo, this the craftsmanship behind the lingo is ridiculous. And like the punchlines is fierce. Like this is a classic album, a classic hip hop album. Like people need to be aware of the work that you're putting in and exactly what you're saying. So definitely really promote that. You know what I mean? Like I try to, tap a few heads on my end, but a lot of people need to hear this album because it kind of shows that there's still like a level of vitality in the hip hop world. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And this stuff right here is just simply amazing. I'm gonna share my screen in a moment. Hold on a second. All right, so and we can get a little bit into this album. Let me know when you can see that 7.
Yeah, I see it. We
All
good?
right. Okay, so let me go into share the sound too. I'm gonna have to turn this up because we're both sharing the sound. So, all right, so let me go into this, and we're playing Under a Million Stars, which I thought was a brilliant, piece as well.
You're in my world now!
Nice production,
We
man.
battle with the gods under a million stars. We battle with the gods under a million stars. We battle with the gods under a million stars. There's lion blood in my chalice, a goat heart in the balance. I speak in italics, discussing these chances. In the Eiffel Tower of Paris, by chariot, the color is metallic. A wonderland to Alice, it's all blunder and malice. Best talent that's combined with magic. Behind the static, there's voices in the shadow. The only choice is battle. Hop into Hellcat and skedaddle. They're watching King Kong climb the Tower of Babel. Ignore every Eve trying to give me an apple. The little rascal that can't be canceled. In the courtyard of my castle, these hens doing nothing but cackle. Now they walking in my chapel with candles that's lit. Definitely with the shits, cause we handle it. Commit with the building that is brick by brick. Old Mac, big head, can't tell me shit. Capoeira with the spiral kick, spit hieroglyphs when the tyrants sit at the Coliseum. Whether spies or allies, I know them when I see them. Greet them with an olive branch, that's for the treason. Watch Pocahontas rain dance for the season. Is he still breathing? After the execution, they blame spirits and start the accusing, and then survive every disaster and delusion. Supreme mathematics, the author of confusion. Niggas be cheating and they still losing. Bones in my blank keep me tuned and influenced by the moon sin. A lunatic in the truant skin, a boogeyman with a heart like a ruby gem. A whirlwind, I twirl in the middle of tornadoes. Between riddles and fables, keep my Glock on the table. Shot of scotch keeps me stable. Watching divas belly dance with diamonds in their navel. We rode on sound waves that was way before a label. And while you getting hung by the TV cable, I was ready and able. The black amour that raised you from the grave to the cradle. We battle with the gods under a million stars. We battle with the gods under a million stars. We battle with the gods under a million stars.
Wow, that was hot, man. What was behind that? What was the thoughts behind that? It's
Phenomenal, phenomenal. Um, the name of the beat was A Million Stars.
mhm,
So I love the way it was sounding. It sounded galactical. The
mhm,
the beat sounded galactical.
yeah,
The title was galactical, and I wanted to be galactical with it as well. But I didn't know how. Um, I didn't want to lose the gangster, and I wanted to do a whole new layer of what we call consciousness on bars,
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
So usually what happens with me is when I get my first two bars, I'll compose them and then I just keep on writing. It just keeps on flowing, keeps on flowing.
yeah,
So when it hit me, there's lion blood in my chalice, a goat heart in the balance, you know? And what I'm talking about in the balance is the balance of Thoth and balancing the heart against the feather and all of that ancient
oh
Egypt.
wow,
Right. And the deluge, I think it's called, or the demiurge, but no, it's the deluge. Um, that's what I was talking about. And then there's the goat heart inside the encyclopedia on the alchemy of women.
yeah, yeah,
I have a picture of a real goat's heart inside the book, right?
wow,
And then I'm a Leo, so a lion's blood in the chalice, and in ancient mind frame, when you're, you know, they would eat a bear to be ferocious like the bear. So you drink lion's blood to be ferocious like the lion, you know.
Yeah.
So I put that together. Then the Eiffel Tower, there's an Eiffel Tower here in Vegas, and then also the one in Paris. And then also on top of me being the medieval author. So, you know, the whole thing, Olmec, big head, can't tell me shit, you know. So if you're big headed, you know, when we were kids, you being big headed, you know, that means nobody can tell you nothing, but the Olmecs were big heads. I just I had to do it, brother.
Yeah. I caught a lot of that. So it was kind of good to kind of hear that and just hit people with certain doses that you know, to make them think, you know, like to look at it like a certain way. You know, it's funny because I've been listening to this album and another album by an independent artist, rap artist actually named Miranda Wrights. And you know, she was like saying guys are trying to step to me like they step into Timbuktu. And I'm like, so this generation now this is the new level of rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the new ether that's being drawn down, you know. So when I heard, like, you know, you picture like the Olmecs, like the big headed, you know what I mean? It's like, wow, it's like the mix up with, you know, certain branches of history or just certain key terms and the lingo. It just makes it sparkle to another level. You know what I'm saying? This is definitely like a bright track. It you know, it has a warm energy, you know what I'm saying? So but as far as like the work is concerned, it just keeps getting better and better. You know what I'm saying? You know, but the production on this was really kind of like cinematic. You know what I'm saying? Really production. So we're gonna go into Corleone and Palermo.
Yeah.
Palermo.
Never step off the throne, Don Corleone. Never step off the throne, Don Corleone. Never step off the throne, Don Corleone. In that double R ghost, all cream 23 interior like my enemies, bloody burgundy, mobbing in a 3-piece. War for peace, the commander-in-chief. Debrief out the streets over Taiyada beef. Keep heat in the arm's reach. Give alms, never let a bum preach. Give thanks when I speak, so police just stare. They say make way, the dawn is here. Never step off the throne, Don Corleone. 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 I speak with passion and confess my sins. Ashes for my mistakes and put one in the wind. Blood is thicker than water and the wine is thin. Won't end up in the gutter for trust and agreeing. There's a fine line between the family and friends. I count every quarter, it's the dimes we spend. We grown men, we in to the end. No feelings in my decisions, it counts 100 million. Never step off the throne, Don Corleone. Never step off the throne, Don Corleone. Never step off the throne, Don Corleone. Never step off the throne, Don Corleone.
When you fuck with somebody with money, you're fucked. You can run, but you can't hide. You have never met anybody like me, and you probably never will, because you're a cunt. Where's the vagina cream? I give you this vagina cream so you can rub it on your snatch, because that's life, guys and gals. Nobody gives a fuck about your... Nobody.
Fret not, you niggas is in the best spot. Perfect example of what a nigga best not. Fix his body in position and mind in submission to accept being bitches. Nigga, this is a different jurisdiction. We on top of this one. Money, my religion, trade federal commissions. Nigga, you delinquent, chronic tax evasion. Caught him lackadaising, he thought I couldn't fade him. big dough, I'm from everybody paying, killing everything they saying if it ain't about a payment. Universal commercial code financing statements, CASHAPP numbers, general obligations. The expert, national treasurer, reader of the ledger, extender of expenditures. Hands all in your pockets, nigga, I've been insurers. X amount of cash outs until the counts is in the norm. Form to fill out for that exempt tax, and they ask for a pass and then slide without tapping in. It's blasphemy, the acting and posturing. It's a counterfeit, the game flooded because of them. It's a bunch of them fucking up the sustenance. I'm up with the sun, top of the AM functioning. Checking the cease and expenses. Lucrative business, taxing bitch niggas who try to mimic this. Debits and credits, indigenous express shit. Hit a lick and throw up the set quit. Check it out, a lot of dough to be made, and likewise, cause there's still a lot of dough to be paid to operate on the world stage. Turn the page, the table's over. We getting over till it's over for you. Weird society engineers is out of here, and real original hairs is on
And I'm
top
not
of
here
here.
to insult your ethnicity, but I will. I'm not here to insult your religion, but I will. Because in the real fucking world where nobody gives a fuck, you want to fit in. You want people to like you. Why? Because you had poor fucking role models. And I'm trying to give you a fucking template to fight off that loser. Goddamn, like the devil's gonna make me do it. Gotta fight that loser off. When I tell you the world's over, brother, it's over. Because if you're the best we got on this planet, you're gonna take responsibility for the first time in your fucking lives. When I tell you there's 31 days in February, there's fucking 31 days in February. When I tell you the fucking sun's not coming up, the motherfucking sun's not
Did the
coming
rap
up.
game just become a cesspool of snitches, werewolves and witches? Interviews in 60 minutes, complaints about business. Who's dissing? Tools blicking? Who's the last dragon or the show enough? Hold up, niggas mugshot be looking funny as fuck. They wanna dress up and get a tummy tuck and claim they be rolling up. Get a bunch of holes in your trunk. The AR got that Rambo clutch. Just touch the deposit and the routing number on a bitch's ass, just like a bounty hunter. No, we didn't stutter. They wonder because their brain got cluttered. They left that in the gutter that is under the bridge. Hope you not minding the stench. Ain't nobody quite grinded like this. With all that reckless eyeball and keep your mind to your bitch. In the Southwest, we make them dig they own ditch. Shots out to LA, they get bigger or rich. Make it make sense. They rich for penny pinch. So I screw this ratchet with the heavy wrench. Stay steady shit. This the stay ready click. Never be a day I switch. Hold her hand, I might mack on your bitch. If the shoe fits, wear it and just be glad they lost all their bands. Now they shaking hands and taking stands. Then behind the wall they need a colostomy bag. He went to Hollywood and dressed in a drag just to get paid. Each a which away. To my dismay, they is still bitch made. Catch a shade in the fade, then they claim to be made. Yeah, that'll be the day when pigs fly from Hawaii to Bed-Stuy. But then they lies comply with the FBI. I make them obese squeezing this healthy nine.
Nobody is better at this than me. The world is irretrievable. The world is going in the shitter. Embarrassed to be a human being. See everybody fucking whining like bitches. I'm fucking embarrassed.
Fucking never. If I lived to be 1,000,000 years old, I'd never do this again. Because this is a thankless fucking job. Because you're all worthless. I was taught, you know, and the truth will make you free. That's what they told me. Apparently now, not now.
Go tiptoes, a player trying to get chose. Go tiptoes, a player trying to get chose. Can I get 5 for a bitch one time? Make her double take, she damn near lost her mind. The blind leading the blind. Let's see what we find. You know hoes follow their nose. Imperial cologne and my gold tiptoes on my Christians. I respect your ambition, but you bitches got to have vision. With good intentions, learn, look, and listen. The cooking in the kitchen, the doggy in the mission. Ain't no mumbling and tripping. We got to get paid off that cheesecake. I got that old money, you can call it knees break. And you got the sauces for the meat steaks. And then she look away. Every dog has its day. And when the dog ain't home, the cat's gon' play. Oh, you don't say. Don't act square when I come around your way. Just admire, then send my down payment through the wire. Go tiptoes, a player trying to get chose. 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 They say God got brass feet, and that's the same color of my foot when I pull it out of her ass cheeks. Don't ask me about last week, and don't leave the iron on after you leave. My slacks are creased, better keep the peace. Your name ain't on the lease, 100% ain't a piece, that's a whole meal. Acting brand new like you don't know the deal. This the gentleman of leisure, as long as I please her. I keep her with a wet beaver, she's a believer. I don't fuck with no skeezers. It's either I need to take a breather or your ass is doing too much. Acting like an animal when you smelling my musk. Until it's making bucks, I don't give no fucks. You way out of touch, and these hoes don't blush. They don't want much, but they say they do. Then they looking through your phone like a dog need food. Go tiptoes, a player trying to get chose. Go tiptoes, a player trying to get chose. Go tiptoes, a player trying to get chose. Go tiptoes, a player trying to get chose.
All right, come on. Pause this. Wow, that was pretty deep, man. The lyrical wordplay is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like you locked into the beat. You know what I'm saying? The beats are kind of chunky, actually. You know, it's refreshing. You know what I mean? Like what I like about this is that it sounds definitely like there was like he kind of like went in with one production aim, maybe one producer, or maybe like, not a heavy pool, which is cool for some projects, but this seems like it was more because the tracks interrelate, very closely, so as you're listening to it, it's like the tracks bleed into each other musically and how it's arranged, but I also get to see like, it seems like it was one recording, like maybe one team or yourself or, up and on the production a lot because it's
Oh
very
no,
interesting.
it's all different production. Well,
Really?
Under a Million Stars and Go Tiptoes had the same producer. I bet you didn't see
Okay.
that. You
Okay.
didn't see that coming, huh?
No, no, not at all. But no.
Um, yeah, that was the same producer on that one.
Mhm.
And Go Tiptoes is actually the name of that beat.
Okay, I see.
So
What was your mindset behind that, the theme of that?
with the Go Tiptoes,
Yeah,
oh, that's pimping, bro. The
yeah,
player trying to
yeah.
get chose. That's all West Coast language.
Yeah, that's what I was
That's
thinking. That was like this is because some of the stuff sound like it can be either coast, right? Maybe even
right,
some, New York, some, because the beats are kind of crisp. But
right.
with that one, I kind of felt that, like, okay, this is like the West Coast lingo, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
But
all West Coast shit.
yeah,
But the thing about it is I do pivot songs and there's nothing wrong with that. But the
mm-hmm.
thing is that I sprinkle in you got mother responsibility up in here,
Yeah.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people try to ignore that for women. I
Mm-hmm.
don't.
Mm-hmm.
You come around me, I was raised by a good mother. My family maintains that line. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I understand to enforce. You come around me, yeah, we all got to work. We all got to maintain things. We all got to do things.
Mm-hmm.
But your motherly responsibility is top tier.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
dig?
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna keep that line, especially in my music, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
As in the books. Now, Coleon and Palermo, that was a random I got out of my beats. I got like over 1,000 beats in my computer.
Wow.
So, right. And it comes from beats that I bought, beats that were given to me. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a big mix.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that one is real orchestra.
Yes.
It's a large, So I forgot the name of the beat, but the Coleon and Palermo, I was actually watching the Godfather movies at
Mm-hmm.
that time.
Yeah.
And in the Godfather 2, they got a big 720 on
Mm-hmm.
Coleon in one scene.
Mm-hmm.
So then, as we were just talking about Palermo, Saint Benedict the Moor is in Palermo, and the third Godfather movie is shot in Palermo.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really interesting about it is that my son's principal, her last name, it was a white female, her last name was Palermo.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had this Palermo energy hanging around me nonstop since I've
Mm-hmm.
been in Vegas, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yeah.
And right. And then the whole Godfather thing. So I had to do that, Corleone and Palermo, and then tax evasion. Could you tell who that was talking on the hook?
No, I couldn't. Yeah, yeah.
That's Dan Pena.
Oh, nice, nice,
Right. You know
nice.
Dan Pena is fucking crazy, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's a Leo, I'm a Leo. And then all these each energies for each one of these songs match in with the cover.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Picture that's on the cover. Right.
Okay. Okay.
So tax evasion, the concept was built by me and the homie that's on the track.
Mm-hmm.
He had the beat. The beat is one of those hip hop loco, you know, you go insane on that beat. So we did the best we could. I couldn't think of a hook for the beat. So then the idea just came up, yo, just, you know, have a white man on here fucking talking crazy shit. And I was like, oh, okay. And then at that time I was listening to some Dan Pena. I was like, Dan Pena's perfect. So I chopped it all up and it came out fucking perfect. You know?
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, it's a beautiful track too. That one, you guys really spazzed out on it a little bit. So it kind of shows like the lyrical prowess that's, you know, evident throughout the album. So by the time we do get to Cold Tiptoes, it's just like real smooth. You know what I'm saying? So let's take a little bit and more, starting off with Making Time.
Right.
This was good too. Yeah.
I ain't got nothing to do, just wanna be with you. I ain't got nothing to do, just wanna be with you. I ain't got nothing to do, just wanna be with you.
Yo, anxiety, my propriety. She wanna strip tease and I gotta see. Like a snake, she starts slithering. The lady got a body made with alchemy. Is it to be or it's not to be? When I'm on top, she can't stop the G. Mission impossible, possibly. And then she roll her eyes while she riding me. That's that southern hospitality. A bag of weed and some Hennessy. She lying to herself about her tendencies. Always trying to fight what's meant to be. I pull her hair when she bend the knee. And I'm on speed down cause of memories. I make her fantasies reality. Then finally, she get to live her dreams.
I ain't got nothing to do, just wanna be with you. I ain't got nothing to do, just wanna be with you. I ain't got nothing to do, just wanna be with you. I ain't got nothing to do, just wanna be with you.
I ain't worried about time cause she's all mine. She threw her draws in the lost to find. She like candle wax up and down her spine. Brother baby oil and the thighs gon' shine. She's a prima donna, that's one of a kind. Put her in a collar and tame her mind. Making her holler from the bump and grind. Then she wanna swallow like it's a crime. Gonna get that lit with the bouncing tickle bits. Pull up to the crib when you fucking with this. Let her have expansion from her heels to hips. Then them legs gon' grip till they lock and twist. Ignorance is bliss, ain't nothing as real as this. So when we mix, come and get your fix. Medicine like the blunt I twist. When she wants some more, she just
I
lick
ain't
her
got
lips.
nothing to do, just wanna be with you. I ain't got nothing to do, just wanna be with you. I ain't got nothing to do, just wanna be with you. I ain't got nothing to do, just wanna be with you.
That was really good. It was sort of
Yeah.
like the amazing thing about that track, it has like a certain type of swag to it. You know what I mean? It's almost like you're, you know, have a girl, you have your arms around her, y'all just rocking together. You know what I'm saying? So the lyrics and everything are very fitting. How did that song come about? It's very
Um, well, I don't want the ladies to feel like, I'm beating them up or no crazy shit. So
mhm,
that's why that song is right after, even if we was to tell the story of Gold Tip Toes,
mhm,
and the woman did choose up on you, now
mhm,
she's making time.
mhm,
And that's why the name of the song is Making Time, because everybody talk about they don't got time
mhm,
to do shit nowadays.
mhm.
you know. And when it
Yeah.
comes to you and your lady, you have to make time. You dig
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then the beat was sexy. I definitely wanted to invoke some of that old school 1990s
Mhm.
H-Town,
Yeah.
Jodeci type
Yeah.
energy on it, and then also the Brandy type of energy, the whole I
Mhm.
want to be down with you, because that's how
Right.
girls were looking at men at that time.
Right.
So it's like, I ain't got nothing to do. I want to be with you.
Mhm.
And that's where a woman's mind should be at.
Mhm.
If she ain't got shit to do, she need to be with a nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I definitely wanted to put some of that 1990s juice of the homegirl kick it type shit,
Mhm.
and then I didn't want it, even though it's a sex song, I didn't want it to come off super perverted.
Right.
I
Right.
didn't want it
Right.
to come off super descriptive on
Right.
on the activity, and you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And yeah, I wanted it to be humble. I wanted it to be a writer, and it's
Mhm.
got real heavy bass in it. So,
Mhm.
it came out perfect. It came out exactly how I wanted it to come out,
Wow.
and it made the album.
Mhm. That's
Yeah.
what's up. That's what's up. So
Well,
let's go into make moment of truth.
right.
In my moment of truth, I'm so low in my cool. In my moment of truth, I'm so low in my cool. In my moment of truth, I take it back to my roots, like I'm smacking my food and got some mud on my boots. If you pull it, you shoot. Fuck going live. I ain't trying to be cute. Fake hoes and broke niggas, dear God, I rebuke. Keep my pockets like nukes. Hiroshima in that beamer. Too clean for a misdemeanor. These niggas be some dreamers, getting high on that Christina. I'm still riding with my Nina on this side of the fence. The grass ain't greener. My moment of truth. I'm so low in my cool. In my moment of truth. I'm so low in my cool. There ain't no liquor to get younger, so play dumb and dumber till someone calls your number and you end up going under. Ain't no crying for a hustler, dying broke like a buster. In God we trust a nigga that's gonna stay down like 1,000-pound crown. Give it all up now, nigga, how that sound? Like gold found in the ground and then it turns to ghost towns. There ain't no fucking around, so I expand and expound and keep my head in the clouds in my moment of truth. I'm so low in my cool. In my moment of truth. I'm so low in my cool.
Nice. Yeah, Moment of Truth. That's a good track. It's definitely got like a little bit of a trap vibe to it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's ethereal though. It's definitely ethereal. It picks
Yeah,
up
that
from
Moment
the
of
first
Truth, that
track.
was that's down South Georgia. That's like old
Mhm.
school
Yeah,
Georgia beat
yeah,
right there. But go ahead, what was you about to ask?
yeah. It definitely has like a very galactic sound as well, like in a different way. You know what I'm saying? I also feel a connection with that with the Under a Million Stars track. It has a definitely like a similar premise. Although the rhythm is different and everything, but the atmosphere of the song kind of takes you to the same place. You know what I mean?
Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
And definitely recognizing the world we live in today, like looking at it from a more wider scope, So stacking your wins.
There we go.
I've been stacking my wins and then I balance my sins. Ever seen a fallen angel? Ball at every angle. The black Constantine smoking on dopamine. I've been reminiscing about the things that I've seen. You gotta crack a couple skulls to get the fatty. Experience will aid you, and that's literally. For the mills, your neck goes in the guillotine. Don't think that they politics is gonna stop me. I know how to get rid of a body properly. Bend the block and see the untold history. Where shit looks like gold, but it's only glittery. Till I'm old and shivering, the OG is hustling. Diamonds is Tuscany, 100 M's is what I need. So who gotta plead? I sign and agree, then slide on Pirellis. Nigga, you gon' smell me, and that's every fucking time. A man sipping moonshine. The God 720 Naga lost his fucking mind. I've been stacking my wins and then I balance my sins. I've been stacking my wins and then I balance my sins. I've been stacking my wins and then I balance my sins. I've been stacking my wins and then I balance my sins. Pass the collection plate. You can't change your fate. Stay on a paper chase, rubber bands and big face. The last outlaw versus the United States. Choose your words wisely, there's a lot at stake. You gonna step inside the shit that you make. That's out there's a baby. Amongst the lost and crazy, the motto is always fuck you, pay me, but maybe your talk will cost. When you cross a boss, we make the sign of the cross. I can feel it in the air, yo, something is off. Just like his head, don't do as I do, just do as I said. It's the order of the streets, put some blood on your bread. For communion, the dollars are recruiting while you hollering and hooting. Just focus on the bag, never mind the tech shooting. The drops are made for cruising. Smile in your coffin and you won't be looking stupid. I've been stacking my wins and then I balance my sins. I've been stacking my wins and then I balance my sins.
That's tough. I like the production with that too. How did that come about? That whole.
Well, actually, I wrote those bars to another beat, and I
Mhm,
just kept on going through my beats, and I found this beat,
mhm.
and the beat was just too hard. So
Yeah,
I had to do it. Yeah, I see the face you making, like, oh, nigga, the
yeah,
stank, nigga.
yeah,
That
yeah,
that shit is knocking. So I
yeah,
had to
yeah,
put it on that beat, and it came out good. It came out dark. It came out heavy and dark, like,
yeah.
Constantine Black, by this sign conquer. So it matched in, and I said, man, we're gonna run it like this and keep it like this.
Yeah, it definitely has a very etheric vibe on the shadow side. I could, picture it like a nightscape, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it definitely has a little bit of a dark side to it, you know what I mean? But
Right. And then the concept of stacking your wins
mm,
and then balance your sins is you gotta, you dibble and dabble, get your hand in the cookie jar, get some money,
Mhm.
but don't get greedy and stupid. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you gotta, have some faith. Look at the saints when you
Mhm.
doing your thing. To calm you down and to humble yourself. Instead of being out here ferocious because you be too stupid.
Yeah.
You only had a 1 year, one run, 2 years of greatness with all this money, and now you got 40 years in the pen.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
balance your sins, my nigga.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we'll move on into Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne.
The name's Bruce Wayne, I stay in my lane. The name's Bruce Wayne, I stay in my lane. Bruce Wayne, I stay in my lane. The streets is watching, part of the game. Loose lips sink ships, I ain't saying no names. My blunt and my Glock, nigga, sparked in flame. Them real ass niggas that can't be tamed. That boy be fire and hollows gon' fly straight. Best if used by nigga, check the date. You can't get by with too many mistakes. This is for the breaks, the envious snakes. They try to ask nicely, but they just wanna take. Niggas be backbiting, but won't say it to your face. And act like they don't know. The product of a hoe, the clown of the show. Now that we know, let's keep shit clear. Like this right here. At 30,000 feet in the air, you not on this tier. Made back at the speed of light, and I ain't changing gears. Get a whiff for death, that's far and near. The raw revere, stand tall for years. God body premiere, and you a provocateur. A straight imposter, I put that on my Jolly Roger. If you want some of this game, then it's gonna cost ya. Real G's never forget the methods of a monster, the lessons of a mobster, the aggression and the conquer. We some Southwest niggas, we send them down yonder. That boy be hotter than a trap house stove. We scam nowadays, keep that ice on cold. Bright and bold, in the righteous zone. 100 mil on my phone, nigga watch your tone. Crotch keeping the chrome, knock a snot out your dome. Knuckle and bone, getting my hustle on. We dodging them cameras and them motherfucking drones. It was written in stone, my money a mile long. Cologne and drank strong, Zaza in the bone. Betty singing alone, wearing a Prada thong. Put the head on my cone and the bread on my loan. Until I'm dead and gone, Batman, welcome home. The name's Bruce Wayne, I stay on my lane. The name's Bruce Wayne, I stay on my lane.
So how did you get to Bruce Wayne for the title of that?
Because when I bought some beats, like
Mhm.
way before the Poltergeist album, there was like a whole section
Mhm.
that was named after these superheroes, and
Mhm.
that's also where I got Hero for Hire.
Mhm.
When I got Luke Cage, Lucifer's Rage, that song on the Foot Up of a Bitch's Ass album.
Yeah.
That beat was named Luke Cage.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember this beat being named specifically Bruce Wayne, but
Mhm.
I think this beat is named Bruce Wayne, and I had to put that energy on there because everybody has called me Batman in this town,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
of the way I operate. I don't, I show up to events. You don't know who I show up by myself all the
Mhm.
time. I got my whip, my
Mhm.
Batmobile, I got all
Yeah.
of that. So people call me Batman all the time out here.
Yeah.
Like, nigga, you
Yeah.
like Batman, nigga, you like Batman. So I'm like, whatever. So
Yeah.
I just, maximized and completed the energy by making, this song right here,
Mhm.
entitling it Bruce Wayne.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's really amazing work. This is a great album. It's a classic, so much meat in the lyricism and everything. It's like definitely for the rewind, definitely for the rewind,
Appreciate
so
it, bro.
yeah.
Appreciate it. Holy Ghost.
chains. Oh, that's still a thing. I'll decorate their bones with precious stones in the catacomb grave. You can't have it both ways. How you choose to get paid, don't start losing your way. Champagne spilling on your custom made. Niggas grinding gold teeth, but won't bust a grape. Bust a bitch, I just seen what's his face. Where's my fucking money? Cut to the chase. It's either shells or hell. Nigga, we dropping the case. You can rock with the snakes. Niggas be doing the most. Had to leave them with the Holy Ghost. Niggas be doing the most. Had to leave them with the Holy Ghost. Niggas be doing the most. Had to leave them with the Holy Ghost. I say a Hail Mary and let him get the Holy Ghost. Holy smoke, holy water on his holy coat. It's only jokes when you niggas be hella broke. Your life insurance quote can fit in this envelope. Say I do and elope. It's the game and the go. Plus the aim that I told. Keep my name out your throat. My hearse is like your mouth, sitting on 100 spokes. Fuck that cockroach, let that bitch spit roast. Niggas be doing the most. Had to leave them with the Holy Ghost. Niggas be doing the most. Had to leave them with the Holy Ghost. Niggas be doing the most. Had to leave them with the Holy Ghost.
So that's amazing. Let me take this off of the share. How did this
that track right there. Go
Holy
ahead.
Ghost come about? That's an interesting idea.
I like the beat. The beat was Catholic natured, and it was natured towards, Constantine the Black.
Yeah.
It definitely had that elegant piano in there. It had the dark side undertones in it. So I did it. And then the hook is specifically for, pranks. These niggas out here doing these pranks, and these niggas out here doing the most for the internet or for the gram or whatever, for all types of attention. And a lot of people, be out here doing the most and got caught with the Holy Ghost,
Yeah.
The Holy Ghost had to come collect that soul because you out here
Yeah.
being a dumbass, doing dumbass shit, trying to,
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like the
trying to
tax
get
collector.
views and attention. Go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, kind of balance them out a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is
So,
grown man zone. There's nothing wrong with being a grown man. There's nothing wrong with being a father. There's nothing wrong with taking care of, your responsibilities. And individuals who do that are not silly natured or goofy natured, and we're not out here, and don't get it confused. Comedians aren't goofy and comedians aren't silly. They crack jokes. That's a completely different realm than, out here being a dumbass, intervening with somebody's life, or using innocent people that don't know the ploy as, the butt of the joke and the ploy, So,
Yeah, it's a little bit crazy. Yeah, it's really crazy, but this is a great album, man. Tell the people where it's available at.
It's available on all platforms. All you have to do is put in the God 720 and everything will show up. But you can also go to my website where there will be no commercials, and that's THEEGOD720.com.
Nice.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm glad we escaped the commercials for this reading, so it was good. But
right,
I
and
appreciate
go to thekickedoutofheaven.com, get the book, $50 for all 3 volumes right now. So
Nice.
Yeah.
How's the book coming along?
Those 3?
Yeah.
The sales, I mean, I've been beating it. I wrote those in 2016, 17.
Wow.
So it's already, 6, 7 years in on the making, 8 years.
Yeah.
And you know, the energy was real potent for the beginning. Everybody
Yeah.
felt it, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And you know, it sort of simmered down now, I guess, because
Mm-hmm.
I simmered down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm a little bit more relaxed, I guess, than when I was during the course of writing it. But
Mm-hmm.
it's time to reignite the flames, you
Yeah.
know, with the Kicked Out of Heaven. And we'll be doing that again until I am no longer in stock with them.
Yeah. It's a
You
good
know,
thing because, now looking back, you could look back and say, wow, this work is getting older. And the work will surpass our existence, like the way media is kept and stuff like that. So, but it's amazing because I remember times when, I was learning certain things and you have your favorite writers and, all this
mm-hmm,
sort of thing. And so now we're in those worlds, what I'm saying,
mm-hmm,
writing and sharing certain things with people. So,
mm-hmm.
your work is definitely cherished, it's blessed, what I'm saying. I have the volumes right here, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, appreciate it.
yeah, yeah. So I gotta, renew my history, look through them again, because there's so much information, like they deserve, like it's more like, to me, I use them as reference books, although I read through them.
Right.
But it definitely is a lot of information. And I mean, a lot of information to paint and, really paint what was really going on in certain eras,
Yeah.
specifically the medieval times, you know what I'm saying? And there's not a lot of expose about that today because of probably just a wall political reasons. But, coming in contact with that information that you made available, condensed in those volumes, is certainly like a work of art equally, as a
Mm-hmm.
work of education and scholarship. So, you know, it's high recognitions and accommodations on that because that was a great, work. And then now you work with the Women's Encyclopedia, to really get into understanding how your thoughts and actions pave the way for experiences. So a lot of people, that's what I like about your work, don't really consider that. They just think that the supernatural is way out there, which may have some relevance, but it's very much here as well. You know what I'm saying? And when you're aware of certain things, we're so normalized that, not us per se, but there are people in general who are just cut off from, that world because it's
Yeah,
really based on
nature
our
cut off
condition.
from right.
Yeah, and this brings a person back around to that, as well as with, the creed of what we were talking about with, Catholicism and things of that nature, the saints. It makes you aware of like a lot of that on a whole different level,
Right.
So, but the music is definitely sparkling. So, looking forward to really, traveling with this album. A lot of times I go to work with my music. I just throw the headphones on, jump on train, and just traveling to the office and listening to stuff back and forth. So this is gonna be on the mark for a little bit of time, So
Yeah, that tax evasion track, that's definitely a shot of coffee in the morning on the way to the gym or on the way to
yeah,
work.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So just want to wish you all the best. This is me, Salve, aka Warlock Asylum with the God 720.
Yeah, I
Wishing you
definitely
all the
appreciate it.
best. Have a
All right.
great evening and definitely pick up the album. All right,
All
one.
right. Yes.